Welcome to the deep dive, everybody. Today we are going behind the scenes of an industry I bet you don't think about very often, bookbinding.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a lot more than just slapping a cover on some pages. We're going to be talking about specialty glues, precision machines, and the quest to, automate this age-old craft.
Yeah, it's actually really fascinating how something we take for granted, like a hardcover menu or even just like a notebook, involves a pretty complex process.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And to help guide us through this, sticky situation, we've got excerpts from a company's website, some PDFs, even a YouTube video transcript.
Huh.
They all revolve around this company called Tünkers do Brazil
Oh, okay.
and a potential client who wants to, streamline her whole bookbinding process. It's kind of like we're piecing together a puzzle to
Okay.
see
Yeah.
what Tünkers can do.
A puzzle with lots of glue.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is this deep dive might reveal some surprising insights for you,
Yeah.
even if you're not in the bookbinding world.
Oh, absolutely. Because we're not just talking about books. This could be relevant to anyone who uses labels, works with adhesives, or just is curious about automation. But first, who are these glue gurus, Tünkers?
So Tünkers is a German company,
Yeah.
but they've been making waves in Brazil for like over 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, they specialize, really, they're specialists in all sorts of machines for the printing industry, especially anything that involves glue. So think finishing machines, glue applicators, bookbinding equipment, really the works.
And they've got this global reach too, working in industries from automotive to construction. But it sounds like their heart really lies in printing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They have a really deep understanding of that industry. But let's zoom in on something they highlight a lot, glue applicators.
Yeah.
Now, no, you might be picturing some like clunky industrial contraption,
Yeah.
but they're actually way more versatile than you might think.
Okay, I'm already intrigued. You're telling me there's more to glue applicators than meets the eye. Spill the tea.
Well, for starters, a lot of industries are ditching self-adhesive labels and switching to glue applicators.
Wow.
Yeah, and for good reason.
Really? Why is that? Are those peel-off labels causing trouble?
More than you'd think. Glue applicators are actually more cost-effective, environmentally friendly, and precise. You think about all those backing sheets from self-adhesive labels ending up in the trash. That's a lot of waste.
You're right. I never even considered the waste factor. So glue applicators are saving money and the planet. I'm liking these already.
Exactly, and you get a much more even and controlled application leading to like a much higher quality finish. So it's a win-win, really, all around.
Okay, so glue applicators, surprisingly sustainable and versatile. But let's bring it back to bookbinding. What makes Tünkers stand out in that arena?
Okay, so they've really figured out how to automate customized bookbinding,
Hmm.
which is trickier than it sounds. Think about it. You need perfect alignment, secure cover, and a smooth, durable finish. And traditionally, a lot of that has been done by hand.
Yeah, I can only imagine. All that meticulous work with brushes and rollers. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. But Tonker's machines automate those, like precise glue applications. Now, you might be thinking, well, why not just use a laminating machine? And that's a fair question.
Yeah, if you want to stick things together, a laminator just seems like the obvious choice.
Right. But for smaller businesses, especially those doing like custom work, dedicated laminators they can be too much. They're pricey, bulky, and not as flexible.
Okay, I see the dilemma. So you're saying that Tünkers has a more tailored approach.
Yeah, their machines are modular, so you can customize them to fit, your needs and your budget.
Yeah.
It's like building blocks for bookbinding.
Oh my.
And they actually make a really compelling case for why using separate glue applicators can actually be more advantageous for some businesses.
Oh, lay it on me. What are the advantages?
Well, for one, they allow a small team to produce a much higher volume of work.
Okay.
They're also way more versatile. You can use them for other products, beyond just bookbinding.
Oh.
Plus, they save space and are quicker to set up and clean.
Oh, wow. So it's all about finding the perfect fit, like Cinderella's glass slipper, but for bookbinding machines. But speaking of perfect fits, we need to meet the client that Tünkers is working with.
Ah, yes. So Anna Laura, she runs a business making personalized hardcover items for bars and restaurants.
Mhm.
So things like menus, bill holders, those sleek leather-bound placemats you see.
Okay, so we're talking high-end custom pieces, not just your average, spiral-bound notebook.
Right.
But what's her bookbinding dilemma?
Well, right now she's doing everything by hand using contact glue.
I can only imagine the sticky fingers. No wonder she wants to automate.
Well, and it gets even stickier. She tried using a water-based glue machine from another company, but the covers kept warping.
Uh-oh. That's a major setback. So now she needs a machine and the right glue. What a challenge.
Yeah, and that's where Tünkers comes in with some clever solutions.
Okay.
And before you picture Anna Laura slathering Elmer's glue all over those menus.
Yeah, that's not quite the image we're going for.
Exactly. We're talking industrial strength animal glue. It's known for its strong bonding and its ability to adhere to all sorts of materials.
Animal glue. So we're going old school. I'm picturing some ancient bookbinder's workshop. But how does this blast from the past work on modern materials like synthetic leather?
It's a bit of a balancing act.
All
But
right.
but Tünkers explained that using animal glue on synthetic leather requires paying close attention to, speed, temperature, and maybe even reinforcing the flaps with contact glue for extra durability.
Wow, so it's not a simple swap. There's a real art to it. And it sounds like Tunkers really knows their stuff.
They do. They even mention some other water-based glues that might work for certain synthetic levers, giving Anna Laura options to consider.
Okay, so they've got the glue situation, figured out. But what about the machines? Did they recommend a specific one for her needs?
Well, they had two contenders in mind. The first is the MCE 5x1.
Okay.
It's a manual machine, so
Yeah.
the operator has, more hands-on control. Think of it as like the workhorse of the bookbinding world.
Reliable and steady. I
Yeah.
like it. And what about contender number 2?
That would be the MCE 2G, the more high-tech sibling.
Oh,
This one is semi-automatic.
wow.
Yeah, it's got an automatic cardboard feeder, higher speed, and can even handle simultaneous pressing and folding.
So the MCE2G is all about like efficiency and speed,
Yep.
while the MCE 5x1 is more about precision and control. But even though these machines have, different levels of automation, they both use the same glue applicators, right?
That's right. Yeah, the glue applicators are interchangeable.
Oh, cool.
But here's a fun fact. The MCE 5x1 can also operate with a smaller cold glue applicator,
Oh.
so making it even more flexible.
It's like Tunkers is saying, we've got a machine for every bookbinding dream. But before we get lost in all the technical details, let's pause here. When we come back, we'll dive deeper into these machines, see how they address Anna Laura's concerns, and uncover even more fascinating details about Tunkers' approach to bookbinding automation.
We're back and ready to delve a little bit deeper into the nitty-gritty of Tünkers' bookbinding solutions.
Oh.
I have to admit, I'm already impressed with how they're approaching this whole challenge. It's like they've thought of everything. They really have considered a lot. But remember, Anna Laura, she's a savvy business owner. She had some very practical questions for Tünkers, especially about those two machines. The MCE 5x1 and the MCE 2G. Like, will they actually work for her specific needs?
Right, exactly. Can these machines even handle the material she's using? And what about those spacing requirements that she mentioned?
Let's unpack that. So Anna Laura works with cardboard pieces that have like 1.5 centimeter spacing.
Okay.
No problem for the MCE 5x1.
Okay.
But the MCE 2G, it has a minimum spacing of 1.9 centimeters when using the automatic feeder.
Oh, sounds like a potential roadblock for the MCE2G. Does that mean it's out of the running?
Not so fast.
Yeah.
Tokers explained that for smaller production runs, which is probably what Anna Laura does, the MCE 2G can accommodate that 1.5 centimeter spacing with a special centering jig.
Ugh. So there's a workaround. I love how Tunkers is all about flexibility. But even with the spacing sorted out, there's still the question of whether the machines can handle her materials.
Yeah, that's a crucial point. You wouldn't want to, invest in a machine only to discover that your materials are incompatible.
Right.
Tunkers really emphasized the importance of testing. They encourage clients to bring in their materials, the glue, the cardboard, the synthetic leather, to make sure everything plays nicely together.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like a bookbinding compatibility test. But
Yeah.
but let's say everything checks out and Anna Laura's, ready to take the plunge.
Yeah.
What about the dreaded lead times? I'm sure she's eager to get this show on the road.
Time is money, right?
Yeah.
Well, Tunkers is pretty upfront about their production process. For a complete machine, the lead time is around 3 months.
3 months. Wow, that's longer than I expected.
It sounds like a long wait, but remember, these are high-quality customized machines. Tünkers takes pride in their craftsmanship. They even explain that they manufacture everything locally in Brazil,
Oh, wow.
from transforming raw materials into parts to managing all the various stages of fabrication.
So it's not just about assembling parts. They're building these machines from the ground up.
Yeah,
That definitely adds time.
exactly. And plus, they factor in extra time for any unexpected hiccups.
Yeah.
They want to make sure they deliver on their promises.
I appreciate that kind of transparency. But what if someone needs a machine, more urgently? Do they ever have anything in stock?
It never hurts to ask.
Hmm.
They did mention that sometimes they have certain items ready for immediate delivery, but it's always best to check with their production planning team.
Okay, so there's a chance she could get lucky. But knowing Anna Laura, she's already thinking like 10 steps ahead. Did she ask about getting the glue applicator sooner while waiting for the rest of the machine?
She did. She's definitely a forward thinker, and luckily for her, Tunkers confirmed that the glue applicator usually has a much faster turnaround time.
Score one for Anna Laura. She can start experimenting with different glues and materials while she waits. But even with the best machines and glues, things can go wrong. What about maintenance and support? That's a huge concern for any business owner.
This is another area where Tunkers really shines. They offer both in warranty and out of warranty service, so you're covered no matter what.
That's reassuring. Knowing there's a safety net definitely takes the pressure off.
Right, and they have a dedicated team of technicians who can handle any repairs or maintenance needs. Plus, they really emphasize the importance of regular cleaning to prevent any issues down the line.
It's like they're saying, treat your machine right and it'll treat you right back. A little TLC goes a long way.
Exactly, and just like a well-maintained car rarely needs major repairs. Tünkers assured Anna Laura that component replacement is pretty rare if you keep things clean and running smoothly. They even keep spare parts in stock to minimize any downtime.
Okay, so we've covered the machines, the glue, the support, even the lead times. It sounds like Tünkers has thought of everything. Wait, there's one more crucial detail we need to discuss. Payment options.
Right. No deep dive would be complete without exploring the financial side of things.
So did Tünkers offer any flexible payment plans? I mean, Anna Laura probably doesn't have like a vault full of cash just sitting around.
They do offer installment payments through bank slips, which are pretty common in Brazil. But
Yeah.
but it's subject to financial approval, of course.
Makes sense. They need to do their due diligence.
Exactly. They explained that they would need Anna Laura to provide her business details and a list of suppliers for credit checks.
That's pretty standard procedure for any business loan. After learning all this, I'm really starting to see why Tünkers has such a strong reputation. It's more than just, selling machines. They're offering a complete solution tailored to each client's individual needs.
I agree. They're providing expertise, support, and a genuine commitment to helping their customers succeed, and they're doing it with this fascinating blend of old school craftsmanship and cutting edge technology.
Speaking of cutting edge, remember that YouTube video we talked about earlier, the one where Tünkers breaks down the many benefits of glue applicators?
You mean the one where they highlight how glue applicators can be more cost effective and eco friendly than self-adhesive ladles?
That's the one. It really showcases how Tünkers understands the bigger picture, not just the technical aspects. They're thinking about the economic and environmental impact too.
And don't forget that clever comparison of glue applicators versus dedicated laminating machines. Remember those four key advantages they outlined?
Let's see if I can recall them all. First, increase production volume with a small team.
Yep.
Second, more flexibility for creating other products. Third, greater space efficiency. And lastly, quicker setup and cleanup times. Did I get them all?
You nailed it. They really make a compelling case for considering glue applicators as a very versatile solution.
It's like they've designed their whole approach around empowering businesses of all sizes, from small operations like Anna Laura's to large printing houses. But what really stands out to me is, what really stands out to me is how much Tünkers really emphasizes quality and support. They didn't just, gloss over those details. They really highlighted how they use top-notch materials, precision engineering, and even source their components locally.
Yeah, it shows they're not, cutting corners. They're committed to building machines that last. And that commitment really extends to their customer support, both during the warranty period and beyond.
Yeah, and I was especially impressed by how they stressed the importance of regular cleaning and maintenance. It seems like such a simple thing, but it can make a huge difference in the lifespan of those machines.
Yeah, it's that proactive approach that really sets them apart. They're empowering their customers to really take ownership and ensure the smooth operation of their equipment.
Thinking back to Anna Laura's initial conversation with Tünkers, you could sense her hesitation. She wasn't sure if these machines could really meet her very specific needs. But as they discussed the options, the different glues, the technical details, you could almost feel her confidence growing.
That's the power of Tunker's, consultative approach. They're not just, pushing products. They're genuinely invested in understanding their customers' challenges and working together to find the best solutions.
It's like they're inviting their clients to become part of the process, to explore the possibilities of automation while still preserving the artistry of bookbinding.
Yeah, it's a beautiful blend of old world craftsmanship and modern technology, and it reminds us that even in a world increasingly dominated by digital content, there's something special about the tactile experience of a well crafted book.
Absolutely. That feeling of holding a beautifully bound book, running your fingers over the cover, appreciating the craftsmanship. It's a reminder that some things are just better in the physical world.
Yeah, and it makes you realize that even seemingly simple objects, have these fascinating stories behind them. Who knew we'd uncover so much just
Yeah.
by diving into the world of glue and bookbinding?
This has been an eye-opening deep dive for sure. And it's a great reminder that innovation can be found in the most unexpected places. So the next time you pick up a book, a menu, or even a simple notebook, take a moment to appreciate the intricate process and the people who made it possible.
And if you're curious to learn more about Tunker's fascinating machines and the diverse applications of industrial glue, be sure to check out their website and YouTube channel. You might be surprised by what you discover.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.